Daniella told Tony that her and the girls are going to have to choose because there will be peace in the Middle East before Karen and Fatima find common ground. Which got me to thinking, who will Sabrina and Andi choose? What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane. Come and see right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. And in this one, we're going to be talking about who will the sisters throw their support behind in the battle that is brewing between Karen versus Danni. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my sisters' content and conversations. We have a lot of them. I drop new videos every single day, and lately it's been giving multiple videos because there's a lot to talk about as we anticipate episode 5 from season 7. This is being recorded before then, just so we're clear. But let's go ahead and get into it. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a spoiler alert, specifically for my take. I don't actually know which side of the fence Sabrina and Andi will fall on, but I do want to make this video as kind of like a stream of consciousness and to like just get my thoughts out there and process it. And this is where you lovely people, the beautiful community, subbies, audience, tribe, if you will, come in, because I'm going to be looking in the comment section to see what your thoughts are. Whose side do you think that Sabrina will be on? Whose side do you think that Andi will be on? And why? Like, make sure that you expound upon it and tell me why. Like, let's really have a conversation about this, because it is very realistic for things like this to happen within a friend group, and people have to unfortunately pick sides. And with Danni entering in the conversation around, I guess, standing 10 toes down on wanting to have a relationship with Fatima because she's so chill, then it's going to come up. It's definitely brewing. And I think once the girls find out what Danni said to Zach, which prompts Zach to go to the salon and act a fool, they're going to have to chime in. I wouldn't be surprised if Karen ask for their opinion, like, do y'all think that this is right? And I would love to ask y'all, do y'all think that it is right for Daniella to do that, to set her up in this way, to not even warn her that Zach is coming and all of that? So let me just go to little Miss Sabrina, because she is the one that plays neutral very, very well. Unfortunately, she's a very passive character. She likes to keep the peace, and she has a lot on her mind as is. She's already, as we got to see in the first 3 episodes, been very distracted, even when she is around the sisters, because she is now fixated on having a baby of her own and the struggle that it is to have the relationship with Rich, knowing that he doesn't want to have kids. So she's not fully tapped in. I would say that she's not herself, but she does still feel like herself. It's just that she's a little bit distracted. So my first thought is that Sabrina is going to try to play peacemaker. But part of me believes that Sabrina will tell Danni that she was dead wrong. She was dead wrong for telling Zach to go and demand a DNA test right in that moment, especially because we got to see both Sabrina and Andi at the juice bar, at Rich's juice bar with their beaux and Maurice, and they were talking about like, oh, did you check back on Karen? And as Danni told Tony, Karen got in her head that they're not supporting her as much. And I would say, like, it's not even just about what's in her head. It's the actions that y'all are actually having in the streets. You went back to work, so that makes sense. But these two hoes, they down at the damn juice bar kikiing with their homeboys and their boyfriend. And it's like, y'all came late, didn't help her set up, and left early for the grand opening. And you got time to go and kiki on today? Like, y'all see these men every single day, and you have to go back to these men right now today? I don't know if it's all in Karen's head, like Danni is trying to allude to. And I think that, Sabrina brought it up to Andi of like, okay, I'm going to try to call Karen when I get home, and you do too, and let me know. So Sabrina's already thinking about Karen's mindset and her feelings and her well-being. So to find out that Danni actually, probably after she calls and like, or maybe sends a group text about how Zach confronted her at the salon. I don't even know how it's going to go down. I'm not going to do the predictions in this particular video. But once Sabrina finds out that Danni has something to do with sending Zach there full tilt on some disrespectful stuff, I think that Sabrina will say something. Now, she's not going to do it in the most confrontational way that I would love for her to do it, in reference to getting into Daniella's ass. But I think that she would actually say something, or I will at least hope that she would, which kind of is leading me to believe that she's going to lean to Karen's side. I know that everybody was at the brunch and everybody was kikiing, but something about Sabrina still reads loyal, still reads like I value my relationship with Karen. Karen and Sabrina, we've gotten to see over the course of the last 6 seasons, very small bits, very subtle bits, but they have a relationship that is, yes, a part of the sister circle, but they have a certain closeness that is different. They have an intimacy that is a little bit different. They share things with one another that they might not actually share with Daniella or with Andi. They get to see one another in a way that the other girls don't actually see them. And Sabrina, I think, as we got to see the whole with the whole debacle when Fatima came to Karen's house and came through the door and did all that disrespectful stuff, we got to see that Sabrina actually does have some type of effect on Karen, a calming effect on Karen, a level-headed effect on Karen. Even though Karen was still pissed about it, she was able to take in what Sabrina was saying. So I could totally see Sabrina landing on the side of Karen in this. If there's going to be a line drawn in the sand, I definitely think that Sabrina could basically align with Karen and support her. So where does that leave Andrea? Now, the interesting part about this to me is that I don't actually think that Andrea is going to pick Danny's side. However, I do think that she's not going to be on Karen's side, if that makes sense. Let me try to explain it a little bit better because it might not make sense. In this specific circumstance, we're talking about Danny versus Karen. However, they're choosing sides specifically because of Fatima, right? And Danny wants to maintain a relationship with both of them, and she wants the right to be able to tell Zach to roll up on Karen and disrespect her however the hell he sees fit, because I'm friends with the both of them and Karen is a little bit too hard. Girl, go to hell. But the Fatima part of it is the part that's going to keep Andi in a place that makes her try to play neutral, but as history has shown us, her playing neutral is actually her lending herself or leaning a little bit more to Fatima's side, because in the past, that's what that has looked like. In moments where Andi's like, oh, I don't want to get involved or I don't want to talk about it, she still shares things with Fatima and then doesn't actually reciprocate with Karen. She holds Karen to a certain standard, but then Fatima gets away with doing whatever the hell she wants to do. And that is just what has happened, y'all. That's not me making nothing up. That's just what has happened. And I think that we're going to see more of the same, especially when Andi is entering into a season where she's trying to go for partner, managing partner, and name partner. And she's going to lean on Fatima heavily in doing so. At this moment, it's not that Fatima and Andi are actually best friends, which is, it's so interesting to me how people have jumped on the bandwagon of like Fatima and Andi are just great friends. Fatima is being used by Andi. Andi benefits a lot from having Fatima in her life and having access to Fatima. I don't know if y'all can actually say that Fatima benefits a ton from her access to Andi and having Andi in her life. And that's the stuff that you really have to think about when you're talking about friendships and if friendships are good or if they're toxic. Because at the end of the day, Fatima and Andi's friendship has been built on Fatima saving Andi in the goofy situations that her ass shouldn't be in any damn way, and showing up and showing, I guess, solidarity and making Andi feel better so she's cool with it. In the moments where Andi needs to be called on her bullshit or needs to be checked, those things don't actually happen from Fatima. So it's a lot easier for her to have a little bit of contention or a little bit of conflict with Karen, because Karen is not just going to say yes. I'm going to go all the way back to that goofy ass wedding that Gary tried to pop up on her. Yeah, Fatima tried to guilt Karen and say that she was going to go back in there and support Andi because this is what she wanted to do, because you're a yes woman. Karen is not a yes woman. It's very hard for people to be able to navigate relationships with people who are not yes people, but people who are 100% in your corner and going to tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. But anyway, back to what I was saying about Andi picking a side. I think that Andi is going to lean towards Fatima's side, which is going to make her seem like she's on Danny's side. However, I do think that she's going to be able to call bullshit for what the hell Danny said. Yes, they were all at the damn brunch kikiing about the paternity and this and that, and taking Instagram pictures with Fatima. However, I think that both Andi and Sabrina can say, yes, we could think this. However, this is not the time nor the place. And at the end of the day, why don't we just let the pregnancy play out? And Daniella, you didn't need to push this along. So I think that could happen in reference to Andi to Danny. However, again, it's going to look like she's picked Danny's side, because she is definitely going to stand on the side of, I'm not getting rid of Fatima. She is my assistant and my home girl. She is my friend. She's one of my girls. Low-key, she is her henchman. And it's going to continue to, you know, exasperate that strain that has kind of been there, because Karen has been, you know, speaking about it for quite a while now as things have played out over the course of the last few seasons. So that's where the line gets drawn in the sand, or at least what I believe. Y'all, tell me what you think in the comment section down below. Who picks whose side? Who says what? Who does what? Like, let's go ahead and chop it all the way up and drop our predictions and thoughts in the comment section down below. If this is your first time hearing my voice and listening to one of these videos, then hit the subscribe button so it won't be the last. It's your good sis, She Let Her Talk TV with, and I have dropped quite a few videos today, so I think this one you might have missed. Go ahead and click it, and let's keep the binge section going.